This is the hiKin Podcast Network. Look for new episodes of the Grand Canyon hiKerdude Show on Wednesdays, Tales from Below on Fridays, and hiking meditations in my separate show, Sacred Steps, on Sundays. hiKin. Together we roam.
There's a 4-letter word we try to avoid in our hiKin Grand Canyon Facebook group. Just. Just to Ooh Aah. Just rim to river. Just a training hike. Because there's no just in the canyon. Not when every step takes effort, every choice demands intention, and every story, no matter the distance, deserves to be told. This one comes from Lori Ann, a first-time hiker in her mid-60s, a former runner, a casual cyclist, a woman who stared down fear, doubt, and self-imposed limits, and said yes anyway. My name is Brian Special, and this is her story.
hiKin Grand Canyon Tales from Below is brought to you by hiKin. Hiking plus kinship. That's hiKin. Join the conversation in our hiKin Grand Canyon Facebook group or at hikin.club. That's hiKin, HIKIN.club.
Two years ago, after some health setbacks, Lori Ann made herself a promise. One day, she'd hike rim to rim. She called it a crazy idea. She wasn't a hiker, and at her age, the body doesn't bounce back the way it used to. But she needed a goal, something wild, something out there. And the canyon was calling. In a stroke of fate, she met a neighbor her age with the same itch to move. So the two women started hiking together once a week in late 2023, gradually building up miles and friendship along the way. Well, when that friend completed a rim to rim with a separate group in May of 2024, during one of the hottest, most dangerous weekends in recent memory, Lori Ann took note. Her friend made it out, but it was rough. That weekend, NPS personnel helped over 200 hikers in distress, most overcome by the heat and not prepared to deal with it. After hearing her friend's tale, Lori Ann went home and read Over the Edge, Death in the Grand Canyon, which at its core is a survival guide for those considering venturing below the rim. It inspired Lori Ann to train even harder. By fall, the weekly hikes became twice weekly. Mileage went up, elevation went up, and confidence slowly went up as well. Still, rim to rim felt out of reach, at least for now. So she set her sights on a different route, South Kaibab to Tonto to Bright Angel, an all-day 13-plus mile loop fully below the rim. It was a chance for Lori Ann to prove to herself that she belonged down there. So she and her friends set out on their adventure on April 21st, 2025. The sun rose with them as they stepped onto South Kaibab at 5:15 a.m. The plan? Simple. Use all 13 hours of daylight that they had. Soak it all in. No rushing, no racing. Just presence. Just joy. They reached tip-off, 4.4 miles and 3,200 vertical feet down, by 8:45, and they lingered, chatting with fellow hikers. Next came the 4.5 miles across Tonto. At Havasupai Gardens by noon, they paused again, eating lunch, wetting shirts and hats, and enjoying the moment before the difficult climb to the South Rim. By 12:50, they were headed uphill. At one point on their journey, they were delighted to see a mama bighorn sheep sprint up the trail in front of them. A blink and you miss it canyon moment. No camera could have caught it, but their hearts certainly did. They reached the rim at 4:50 p.m., less than 12 hours after they'd dropped in. Now, some might scoff at that time, but they weren't chasing a stopwatch. They were chasing meaning. And boy, did they find it. Lori Ann and her friend walked back to their campground, showered, walked to a restaurant for dinner, and then walked back under canyon skies that somehow felt more profound now. In the days that followed, there was no crash, no pain, just gratitude. They had prepared for it, and they had done it. What's next? Well, Lori-Ann says they'll keep hiking twice a week. Maybe all the way to the river next time. South Kaibab to Phantom to Bright Angel maybe in 2026. Maybe an overnight. And eventually, rim to rim. But she's in no rush. As Lori-Ann says, she may be moving a little slower now, but she's moving toward her next goal. And that is just all that matters. This has been Tales from Below, true stories from hikers who went below the rim. To hear more, or to share your own story, join the conversation in our hiKin Grand Canyon Facebook group, or visit hikin.club. That's hiKin, HIKIN.club. Until next time, hike smart, stay humble, and never underestimate the canyon.